Welcome to Xiao Voice. Continuing from the previous episode 189. The corner of Xiaoyan's mouth was curled into a cold smile as he observed the terrified expression that surfaced in Ling Quan's eyes. He believed that after the fight today, he would leave behind an imprint and a phobia in the other party's heart. In the future, regardless of what level this Ling Quan reached, this shadow of failure would surface from deep within his soul as long as he stood in front of Xiaoyan. This would result in Ling Quan being unable to maintain his peak condition in front of Xiaoyan. Xiaoyan tightly held Ling Quan's neck with his hand. A moment later, he tossed Ling Quan, ruthlessly sending him into the stone pillar of the stone pavilion. That powerful force caused some lines to spread across the stone pillar. Grug. Ling Quan could not resist spitting out a mouthful of fresh blood after receiving such a heavy blow. His life force was weak as he lay on the ground. No one knew if he was dead or alive. Commander Ling Quan, those dozen-plus members of the Black Submerged Army hurriedly rushed over upon seeing this. Ling Quan was after all their superior. If he was beaten to death by Xiaoyan in this place, they would definitely have difficulty escaping punishment when they returned to the Gu clan. Relax, he is still alive. Xiaoyan randomly rubbed his fist on his clothes as he faintly informed them. Although he really disliked this, Ling Quan and Xuan said that she would take responsibility if anything happened, he was still not a reckless person. He clearly understood that if he were to kill Ling Quan, Xuan would end up in trouble, especially if she took responsibility for everything. Xiaoyan was not happy to have such a thing occur. Those 10-plus Black Submerged Army finally sighed in relief after hearing Xiaoyan's words. They faced each other only to quietly sigh. One of them separated from the group and picked up Ling Quan, who had turned into a pile of mud. After which, their bodies moved, and they rushed onto the four-winged single-horned beast. They had never received that whatever elder's order. Moreover, even if they did receive it, they did not dare to attack with Xuan around. After all, they did not have the same backing Ling Quan had behind them. He, young one, you are really ruthless in your attacks. It is likely that Ling Quan will require 2 to 3 months to completely recover from those injuries. Moreover, even if he does fully recover, he will likely suffer from some sequelae. The black-robed, old man glanced at Xiaoyan with deeper meaning as he commented on the situation. Xiaoyan smiled. Although those injuries were serious, it was at the very least better than losing one's life. If he was not afraid of giving Xuan some unnecessary trouble, Ling Quan would have died today. Xiaoyan's eyes turned to Xuan beside him. A reluctance surged into his heart. He asked, "Are you leaving now?" Xuan gently nodded. She had only been with Xiaoyan for a short while, yet Ling Quan's group had already come chasing her. If she were to stay a little longer, it was likely that the ones who would come next would not be at Ling Quan's level. Moreover, if the other party still insisted on bringing Xiaoyan back to the Gu clan, there would truly be some trouble. Seeing this, Xiaoyan softly sighed and ceased saying anything to hold her back. He knew that Xuan had her reasons for being in such a hurry to leave. Wait for me in the Gu clan. After I participate in the pill gathering and rescue Yao Lao, I will head to the Gu clan to look for you. Xuan sweetly smiled upon seeing Xiaoyan's serious expression. She softly inclined her snow-white chin and said, "Xuan will wait for you." After saying this, Xuan studied Xiaoyan before she ceased staying any longer. Her lovely body moved, and she leapt into the sky. She gently landed on the head of the four-winged single-horned beast. Black hair fluttered, causing her to appear like an otherworldly fairy. Her ethereal demeanor gave one a dazzling feeling. Ha, little fellow Xiaoyan, take care. Quickly raise your strength. Do not let young miss come and help you out next time. As a man, one would be more capable if one relies on oneself. The black-clothed elders laughed to Xiaoyan. The space around them immediately became distorted, and their figures slowly disappeared from the spot. They were already on the four-winged single-horned beast the next time they appeared. Xuan turned her head and looked at the young man, who was standing tall and straight below. A moment later, she gently swung her sleeves. A wild wind was lifted, and the four-winged single-horned beast emitted a low, deep roar. After which, it flapped its four wings, carrying a wild wind as it swiftly flew out of Yi City. Xiaoyan Gege, take care. A gentle voice was transmitted with the wind. After which it lingered and entered Xiaoyan's ears. Xiao Yan's eyes stared at the black figures that gradually became distant. His hands were slowly tightened under his sleeves. Xuan wait for me in the Gu clan. I will reveal a strength that even the Gu clan will have to look at. I want to let them know that your eyesight is correct. The Xiao clan does not have anyone who is useless. The enormous black figure swiftly disappeared in the horizon. At the same time, the atmosphere within the courtyard had become a little lonely as a result. Xiao Yan's eyes stared at the black figures disappearing into the horizon. Only a long while later did he let out a soft sigh. Relax. It is not as though you cannot meet each other in the future. The little fairy doctor softly comforted as she stood behind Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan also smiled when he heard this. He nodded his head, turned to the corner outside of the courtyard, and asked with a grin, Elder Yi Zhang, can you please come in for a meeting? Ha ha. Mr. Xiao Yan is too courteous. Yi Zhang's laugh hurriedly sounded soon after Xiao Yan spoke. Immediately two figures swiftly entered the courtyard. They were Yi Zhang and Xin Lan. Xiao Yan turned his body and sat down within the stone pavilion. Yi Zhang and the rest followed him in. After which, all of them sat down and focused their eyes on Xiao Yan. Elder Yi Zhang, may I know how much time is left until the start of the pill gathering? Moreover, what is the selection before the pill gathering all about? Xiao Yan smiled as he inquired. The information Xiao Yan knew about the pill gathering was not as detailed as what Yi Zhang knew. If we were to count the exact time left, we should have around 7 months. However, the pill gathering is a distinguished event that is rarely seen in the pill tower or even within the Central Plains region. Hence, there are also many rules to follow. Quite a number of people will arrive at the Holy Pill City half a year or even a year before the start of the pill gathering. Yi Zhang laughed. Holy Pill City? Ha ha! The Holy Pill City is the location of the Pill Tower's headquarters. It is also called Pill City. Yi Zhang smiled and explained. The selection of the pill gathering is meant to eliminate some of those who are there only to make up the numbers. After all, the pill gathering is the grandest alchemist gathering across the continent. The alchemists without skill do not have the qualification to participate in it. Those participants of the pill gathering will require a recommendation letter first. This is not much of a problem. It is merely a formality. When the time comes, the old me will prepare one for Mr. Xiao Yan. My Yi clan might be declining, but it still possesses the qualification to write this letter of recommendation. Other than the extremely harsh requirement on one's ability, the other aspects of the pill gathering are quite alright. There is also quite a loose requirement when it came to the participant's age. As long as one is not an old demon who is renowned across the continent, everyone else can participate. Of course, everyone can only participate in the pill gathering once in their lifetime. If one were to participate in it this time around, one would no longer have the qualification to participate the next time around. There is no restriction on age? Isn't this a little unfair to some of the younger alchemists? Xiao Yan was involuntarily startled when he heard this. He knit his brows as he commented. Ha ha! Where is there absolute fairness in this world? Moreover, most of those who have the confidence to come and participate in the pill gathering possess some talent. All of them thinks that they are of sufficient weight. Yi Zhang shook his head and laughed. The selection of the pill gathering is separated into the heaven, earth, and man levels. In other words, it is equivalent to 3 elimination rounds. Only those who can last through the heaven elimination round and remain behind possess the qualification to participate in the final competition. Heaven, earth, and man levels? Xiao Yan involuntarily lifted his eyebrows. It was indeed worthy of being the grandest alchemist gathering. Just the selection alone was already this complicated. Ha ha, it is indeed quite troublesome. Those who wish to participate in the pill gathering will mostly arrive at the Holy Pill City around 2 to 3 months ahead of time. In other words, Mr. Xiao Yan only has 4 months of preparation time. Yi Zhang grinned and nodded. 4 months. Xiao Yan knit his brows slightly upon hearing this. Only now did he sense just how pressed for time he was. He needed to obtain the 3,000 burning flames. Before that, however, he had to obtain a top 10 spot in the pill gathering. Otherwise, everything else would just be empty talk. Xiao Yan had also thought of forcefully taking it. However, the Pill Tower was a top faction in the Central Plains region. Forget about the matter of him not having the strength to forcefully snatch it. Even if he managed to successfully snatch it, the party he would offend would be all the alchemists in the Central Plains region. He would become the common enemy of all alchemists. Xiao Yan felt his head become numb by just thinking about it. Moreover, the frightening aspect of the pill tower was not its surface strength, but its terrifying summoning ability. Xiao Yan had experienced the ability of a high-tier alchemist to gather people. Moreover, when this number was magnified a countless number of times, that summoning ability would likely be extremely difficult to be described by the word frightening. Looks like I will have to seriously practice medicinal refinement during these 4 months. Xiao Yan softly sighed as he muttered quietly in his own heart. Although he was quite confident in himself, this pill gathering would not be like the Jia Ma Empire's alchemist grand meeting. All the outstanding alchemists across the Central Plains would swarm to the pill gathering. This was because everyone knew that as long as one were to stand out in the pill gathering, it would be equivalent to becoming an elite among the alchemist occupation anywhere on the continent. That honor was likely the ultimate aim a countless number of alchemists strived for. Hence, even Xiao Yan felt a lot of pressure when facing these outstanding alchemists that came from all over the continent. Xiao Yan slowly exhaled a breath of air after making up his mind in his heart. His eyes glanced at Xin Lan beside him before looking at the smiling face of Yi Zhang. His finger gently tapped the stone table before he finally asked a moment later, "Elder Yi Zhang. I promised Xin Lan back then that I will aid your Yi clan in regaining the Pill Tower's elder seat. I, Xiao Yan, am someone who keeps his word. Can you tell me about the qualification one requires to enter this elder seat?" Xin Lan and Yi Zhang were initially startled when they heard his question. A wild joy and excitement surged onto their faces soon after.